welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where again it's an action-packed video right here today because of course we're going to be reacting in full to that Barça performance against Tottenham, 4-2 on the night to us in the Joan Gamper trophy, where a certain Lamine Yamal produced a stunning display. He produced genuinely the most incredible 10-minute cameo I've probably ever seen. No exaggeration, it was honestly that good. We're going to be talking all about him, along with what we can improve on as a team here. Off the back of pre-season, from what we've seen from Xavi's side, what do we need to work on, with emphasis on the transfer window, which, yes, still includes rumours on Neymar Jr. It is all coming up for you today. It's all discussed. So come on, and let's do it. Because if we do kick off with that Joan Gamper match, of course, in our new home for the new season, it was a bit strange, wasn't it? Playing away from the Camp Nou. There was 35,000 spectators inside of the stadium last night. And to be fair, Barça, for most of the game, were trailing to Tottenham. You know, it was from midway through the first half right up until the 81st minute of the game, which just happened to coincide with Lamine Yamal's arrival into the game. Barça then scored 3 goals in the last 10 minutes, twice in added time, to completely turn the game on its head in emphatic fashion. However, before we do come on to all of that magic, would I say that there last night was a convincing performance from Barça? To be honest, guys, I really wouldn't. You know, I wouldn't by any stretch of the imagination, especially when you consider actually that Barça were playing against a Tottenham team that quite heavily rotated. They didn't have their star players out there yesterday, and I think we have to wait now for what we see in the season. You know, pre-season has been a bit of a learning curve. I think we've seen a lot of promising signs from this Barca team. We've had good performances, good moments in games, but ultimately now we've got to see if we can deliver, because I still think there's areas in this team where we must improve, where we have to certainly take things up a level or two. And let's start right here with one of those big concerns. Because certainly, guys, the alarm bells were ringing there, weren't they, in the first half when Ronald Araujo requested to be subbed off there. He said, I can't continue 32 minutes into the game. He wanted to come off, and he did indeed get subbed. And an injury to him just days before the start of the season, that would have been absolutely catastrophic. Anything but that. We didn't want that. But after the game, the really good news is that Xavi was very upbeat on Araujo. He says right now there is no injury problem there. It was simply a sub there, very much out of precaution, taking no risks at all. And he says that he expects Araujo to be there on Sunday against Getafe, which, believe me, we will need him to be, because we already have injury concerns at centre-back to Christensen, and also, of course, to Inigo Martinez. A few worrying signs coming out about his injury right now. But you know what? That's not even where my concern ends. Because when you think about Araujo last night, you know, when he picked up that injury, where was he playing? He was playing as a right-back. Ronald Araujo, our best centre-back, was playing at right-back just days before the season begins. How are we in this situation? And then when he gets subbed, by the way, who comes on to replace him? Sergi Roberto. Sergi Roberto, whose performance I think really can be summed up with this moment right here. When Pedri produced magic there in his own half, soaking up pressure, spinning past 3 Tottenham players, all there in a very tight, confined space. He then releases Sergi Roberto, who's in acres of space on his own. He's got all that space ahead of him there to move into. What does Roberto do? He gives the ball straight back to Tottenham. And you could sense the frustration there from Pedri after the good work that he did. It was all thrown away. And what I want to say, guys, is how have we not solved the right-back issue yet? We should not be counting on Sergi Roberto there. Araujo shouldn't have to be dragged out to play there. We need a right-back. We have done now for so long. Get it done. Come on, the time is now. Whether it's João Cancelo, whether it's Ivan Fresneda, whichever one you want to move for, just do something. Because right now, days to go until the season, we need this position wrapped up. But if we do indeed move back there to the football last night, because there was another goal for Ferran Torres, who I think, to be fair again, throughout pre-season, in front of goal, he has been very productive. That makes it now 3 goals in 4 games for Ferran Torres, even despite questions still about his future. And there was also another goal for Ansu Fati last night. That means he has scored in back-to-back games here in pre-season. Good finish again from him last night. Good to see that confidence growing maybe in front of goal once again, and especially with him, with all the speculation going on about his his future right now. And of course, both of those players, Ferran, Ansu, they've both been linked away. I think right now, Ansu is definitely the more likely one to depart the club this summer. Not Ferran, but Ansu Fati, due to the fact there is lots more interest in him. Barca there could get much more money for Ansu Fati, but is that because of the quality of player? Is that because of the potential that we have right here in Ansu? Is that why the big money could potentially come in? But I think it's interesting right now when you listen to the media, a few of the rumours that are coming out right now, they're starting to question Ansu's relationship there with Xavi. Apparently between the two of them, things are not exactly great right now, maybe becoming that relationship a bit strained, potentially over the lack of opportunities for Ansu. And I think in general, the lack of trust really, even last night he started on the bench again, Xavi not really seeming to want to play him from the start and as part really of his plans at all. So that is something certainly to keep an eye on. And I think even after the game, when Xavi was asked about Ansu Fati's future yesterday, he didn't shut anything down. He was asked about Ansu leaving and he said, look, we'll see what happens. He said there's still a market until the end of the month, and he admitted we do depend on FFP. So Xavi there not saying Ansu's not leaving, Ansu's not for sale, very much leaving that door open, and that is a situation to keep a close eye on. But if we do move on now to the man of the moment, the man of the match, did go to Frenkie de Jong, but the performance was absolutely wonderful from Lamine Yamal last night. He had such a staggering impact on the game. 16 years old, to be subbed on there with your team losing the match, and to effectively then grab this game by the scruff of the neck and single-handedly turn it around. That's what he did. It was honestly extraordinary to watch him do that there, because when he was subbed on with 10 minutes there, like I say, to go, Barca 2-1 down, he assisted Ferran's goal there to tie the game. Lovely weighted assist there from him, and then the body feint that he pulls off for the next goal in the build-up to Ansu Fati's goal, that was absolute genius there from Yamal. That is something that will end up on plenty of highlight reels. Wonderful skill. And then again, for the final goal with Abde's, it's lovely dribbling there. Such good close control. He manoeuvres his body so well. He looks so nicely weighted on both sides. He releases Fermin Lopez, who squares the ball for Abde. Good to see him getting himself a goal there, the fourth. But I just think Lamine Yamal, what an extraordinary talent. I think Reguilon, he's going to have nightmares. He probably did have nightmares last night when thinking about defending against Yamal. And you know what, guys? This is not even a one-off. It's not like he's just produced this here. It's a one performance that we're not going to see again, because he did exactly the same thing against AC Milan less than a week ago, and then he was up against Theo Hernandez. He is a brilliant left back, one of the most impressive players in the world in that position. Yamal wasn't scared of him. He went face to face against him and came out on top. And I just think then last night against Tottenham, he took his game, he took the moment to a whole new level, and he really arrived on the big stage. So what do we do from here? That is my question now. With Yamal, where do we go from here in terms of that new season? Because I would like to take you back to something Xavi said before pre-season started. He said right now, all the players, they start from scratch. Whether they are 16 years old or 38, if they show me they can play for Barca, then they will play. And now for me, Lamine Yamal, he's shown he can do it. He, for me, is ready now. Now, I know he's only 16 years old, and I know we shouldn't pile expectations on him too soon. We don't want to demand too much of him, throw him in at the deep end. But this kid, he looks like he's ready. He looks as though he can handle first-team football in a Barca shirt now. And I think we should be playing him here. I think already the way that he's shown he can have an impact on a game, the way that he's able to affect a game. And we've spoken before, guys, just a day or two ago, about Barca lacking match winners. Players there who can decide games on their own, who can turn a game on its head in the blink of an eye. That's what Yamal did last night. Those are the unique qualities that this young man has. And I want to see him in this team. I want to see him playing. Because for me, he's ready. Now, speaking indeed about match winners, and with Yamal there impressing on the right side of attack last night, now let's switch to the left. Let's talk about Neymar Jr. and what has been happening here on the transfer front with him. Because I thought again yesterday, after the game with Xavi, it was interesting to see his tone, the words that he was using there when he was asked about reinforcements, when he was asked about transfers, because he said yet again, Dembele is leaving the club. And Xavi said, I've already said, we need reinforcements. And it almost felt as though there he wasn't repeating himself for the sake of us at home, for the sake there of the journalists. He was repeating himself towards the board. He was telling them again, I still need reinforcements in this team. And I think right now it's interesting the dynamic that's building, because also in the media we're hearing about Joan Laporta. Apparently he's trying to convince Xavi that Neymar is a good signing for the club. He has apparently told Xavi Laporta that this signing would be not just on the sporting front, but this would be a club operation, something in terms of the financial point of view, the economic side. We spoke there about marketing, and Laporta believes their Neymar would strengthen the Barça brand this summer. And I did think it was interesting yesterday again, maybe, just maybe, a change in tone from Xavi. Because at the start of June, guys, sort of 2 months ago now, let me take you back to what Xavi replied when he was asked about Neymar's signing, when he was asked about potentially him coming in this summer. He made it very, very clear he's not in our sports planning. Xavi said, I appreciate him there as a person, as a friend, but we have other priorities. It was a very blunt, very stubborn response from Xavi. But have those other priorities now not come to fruition? Is Xavi now having to think about other options? Is there pressure from within inside the club with regard to Neymar? Because yesterday he was asked about his signing and he said this. He said, on Neymar, I can't say anything more right now. He said, last year I mentioned the name of a player and their club got angry. He said, from now until the end of the market, anything can happen. And now that, for me, that sounds like a very different message from Xavi. He's not shutting the door on Neymar. He's not saying, look, he's not in our plans. We're not planning for him. We've got other priorities. Now, everything is open. Now, I'm not saying that suddenly Xavi now wants to welcome Neymar, but I do think there's pressure from inside of the club. I do believe here there's a feeling that Neymar is being pushed upon Xavi, given that we couldn't get Bernardo, given that we're struggling to locate other options. Neymar is on the table. He continues to be put forward. But whether he will return, only time is going to tell us. But indeed, guys, what I would like to hear from you in the comments down below is, what did you make of that Lamine Yamal performance there? A player coming through La Masia, a jewel of the youth academy, shining in the Barça shirt in the first team. That is what we want. That is what all of us want to see at this club. And please do let me know whether you believe he's ready, whether you want to see him getting more chances now under Xavi. Let me know those thoughts down below. I will, of course, see you soon, where we'll be keeping up with everything that's happening right now at the club. Thank you indeed for watching and for all of your support. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.